Turtle class, how are you all doing? I hope you're all really well. Now Mrs. Brownie's made a special video for you today because I've got something very special to talk to you about. I am here to tell you some very exciting news. Now we've had the most amazing year together. It's been a bit of a strange one, but Mrs. Brownie's really enjoyed working with all of you. I've enjoyed working with you so much, and I have so many happy memories of our time together and with Mrs. Cooper too. But it's time now for you all to go on your next adventure at Millride Infant School. And that's my exciting news for you, because you are going to come back to school in September after we've had our summer holidays with a brand new teacher. And my job today is to introduce that teacher to you. Now it's somebody that you all know, somebody that you see every single week in your singing assembly. It is the lovely Mrs. McFarlane. And she is here today to read you a lovely story to greet you on your next new adventure in year one as a seahorse at Millride Infant School. So now, over to Mrs. McFarlane, and I'll say bye for now and look forward to seeing you around school soon. Take care.
Hello to my new seahorses. Right, now I have got a very special story for you, and it's one of my favourites actually. I do enjoy reading this story. It is written by an author called Simon James, and it's published by Walker Books. Now, this story is called George Flies South. Are we ready? Now, let's sit comfortably. The leaves on the trees were turning brown. Winter was coming. Lots of birds were heading south. It was time for George to learn to fly. "Are you ready, George?" said his mum. "Not quite," said George. "I might fall." "I think I like my nest best. Will you get some worms, Mum, and I'll stay here?" Whilst George waited, a strong gust of wind swept through the park. It tore through the branches, scattering the leaves everywhere. George's nest wobbled, and it lifted into the air. "Mum," said George, "Mum, look at me. I'm flying. Whee!" But George's mum was far too far away. She couldn't hear him calling, and when she flew back, George and his nest were gone. "George, George," she cried. "Where are you, George?" "I'm here, Mum," called George. "I flew down in my nest." Then, without warning, George and his nest were on the move again. On top of a car. Look, the car's moving. "Am I going south, Mum?" asked George. "Hold on," shouted his mum. "I'm coming." But George couldn't hold on, and he took off into the air. "Look at me, Mum, look at me," said George. "I'm flying again." Whee! "You can't stay here, George," said his mum. "You've got to leave your nest. Try to flap your wings." George tried. "Try harder." "What are you going to do, Mum?" Much later, the boat that George was on stopped, and George was lifted up into the air. He's on the wood. "Don't move, George," said his mum. George looked down. He was glad he still had his nest. "Don't worry," said his mum. "We'll try again tomorrow." George curled up and fell fast asleep. The next morning, George woke with a start. "Look out, George!" shouted his mum. "Oh no! Look, a cat!" "Uh-oh!" Crack! The cat landed, and George's nest began to fall. "Don't worry, Mum, I'm all right," shouted George. "There he is down there, look. He's fell off the wood and he's falling down. Down, 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 down he fell. Twig by twig, the nest fell apart until only George was left. "Mum!" cried George, "I've lost my nest! Look, it's got no nest." "George, you have to flap your wings," shouted his mum. "Now it's time, come on." George tried really hard. "You can do it," said his mum. "I'm trying," said George, and with a deep breath and a huge beat of his wings, George flew. Look, he's flying with his mummy. "I knew you could do it, George," said his mum. "I'm ready to fly south now," said George. "Let's go, and I hope there's lots of worms." And that's a bit like you swimming to your new class in year 1, down to Seahorse class to start your new year in September with me. Just like George left his nest, you are leaving Turtle class and you're coming to Seahorse class, and we're going to have so much fun. Have a lovely holiday, and I look forward to seeing you all in September. Stay safe.